Hey, what's going on everyone? I'm Jakejames Lugo, and welcome to the channel, where you'll find some of the most fair and honest game reviews out here.
Hello there.
And we're back again in the galaxy far, far away, talking about a Star Wars game that not a lot of people have really talked about. And it's weird too because this game takes place in the Star Wars universe, but presents things in a very unique and different way that I think some of you out there might find pretty interesting. Like anybody else who follows the Star Wars galaxy, I love the ships and different vehicles in the movies, but we rarely get to see anything that's focused on vehicular combat within a galaxy far, far away that's not involving space combat. That's where this weird game comes in. Star Wars Demolition was released for the original PlayStation in November of 2000. It also came out on the Sega Dreamcast a month later. This game takes a lot of inspiration from games like Twisted Metal and Vigilante 8, but puts everything within the Star Wars universe. What's interesting is how it blends together elements of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy together, which just saw the release of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, a year prior. Attack of the Clones was already in production during this time for a 2002 release. Demolition is set during the time of Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, but does not focus on any of the heroes we know from the movies. Instead, we get to peer into the underworld led by Jabba the Hutt. While the Galactic Civil War rages on, the Empire has put a ban on pod racing, which forces Jabba to find a different means of entertainment to satisfy his loyal subjects. He comes up with a deadly new contest that brings together different combatants to fight each other in vehicles of their choosing, basically a total free-for-all in ships. This brings together the likes of Bounty Hunter Boba Fett, Jedi Hunter Aurra Sing, Smuggler Wade Vox, and many other characters together to partake in Jabba's event. There's not much story in here beyond that. Everything that happens in this game is considered not canon whatsoever. We do get a few callbacks and fan service to the entire saga, however, up to that point. But does Star Wars Demolition deliver on creating something unique and fun? Well, let's just say that it's definitely something. So I'm cool seeing all these different characters that we don't get to really see in the movies and are much more part of like Legends or Extended Universe material, especially characters like Aurra Sing and Wade Vox. That to me is pretty interesting. At the same time too, I also love seeing all the different ships, which are familiar in some ways, but then others are just completely unique and different that we just never seen before. Just the blending of the two I think is pretty darn cool. And I also like the idea of blending some of the original trilogy stuff, particularly in the timeline and when this takes place, with that of the prequel era, which at this point in time, it was 2000, so only Episode 1 had come out. We didn't get anything from like Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith, which happens later on. But at least at that time frame, we still had a real good love and real appreciation for what had happened in the original trilogy, and kind of blending it with this new stuff that was happening then, that was pretty awesome. Now with that being said, I would have loved to see a little bit more of a cohesive plot that tied everything together really nicely. Granted, we get individual stories for all these characters. It's very similar in the way that it's done with Twisted Metal or even any other fighting game out there. But still, while it's cool seeing their individual stories, I want one main plot to follow that ties everybody together or brings everybody together in some way. Granted, we kind of get a little bit of that with the opening crawl, but it's not really a story that we could just follow through from beginning to end. Alright, with all that to the side, let's talk about gameplay, because a lot of people don't really know a lot about this game, so they're definitely going to want to hear this, and if I'm being totally honest with you, this thing is something. If you've played any Twisted Metal game before, then you know exactly what to expect from Star Wars Demolition. My problem is that everything done in here just isn't all that good.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
For real, a lot of the gameplay in this game is buggy, inconsistent, and possibly super unbalanced. You have different game modes that pit you against one or many opponents, with everybody driving their own vehicles and using weapons to take everybody else out. You can use lasers, proton torpedoes, thermal detonators, and many other different weapons that you see within Star Wars. That's pretty cool, but the driving and the targeting in this game is absolutely horrible. The handling of every ship is garbage, and the hit detection is super wonky. On top of that, the damage you take might feel like it's tipped in favor of your opponents, even on lower difficulty settings. It just feels like most of my weapons are ineffective in some cases against my opponents, even after I've bombarded them with fire. But what bugs me the most about this game is how meager it feels with the different game modes. You have your standard battles and a tournament mode, which is fine, but the droid hunter and high stakes modes feel mediocre and shoehorned in here for no other reason other than padding. By the time I was done with a few battles, I felt like I had seen everything that there was to see. I wish that there was a story mode with a plot that explored the characters like Wade Vox a little bit better than what we see in tournament mode. What we have in here just comes off as very shallow and uninspired. That might be a little harsh to say, but that's how everything looks to me in this game.
I don't believe that. And you're sounding like a separatist.
So let me be clear about something. I like that there's a unique style to every single character that you could play as. They have their own unique weapons and little abilities here and there. But as far as the game as a whole, the way that it runs and if it's like, stable overall, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's wrong with this. Like, just some of the hit detection is all over the place, some of the damage is unbalanced, there's a lot of other little bugs and glitches that I found pop up like throughout my experience. It's just all over the place in general, and it's a shame because this concept is awesome. This concept is unique and different, again, in comparison to other Star Wars games out there. This is just basically taking what worked for Twisted Metal and Carmageddon and just putting Star Wars characters in it. It should be awesome by default, but just the execution here isn't all that great. Real talk, I say all of this in the interest of fairness, because there is a lot of problems with this game. Even though it's a PlayStation 1 game, but still, there was a lot of other PlayStation 1 games back in the day that ran and just were designed much better. But if we are being fair and honest here, there is some cool stuff in the form of unlockables. And cheats too. Now lucky for us, there's some bonus content to unlock and explore in here. However, it's not as good as you might think.
What?
Here's what I mean. Playing through the tournament mode with any character unlocks a CG video of their victory, or shows what exactly happens when they lose if you get a game over. This is pretty neat because you don't really see that in other games. It adds a little extra flair that I appreciate. However, the videos are more akin to fighting game endings, like short epilogues given for each character, nothing more or less. Besides that, there are some unlockable characters, but it is a pain to get all of them. You need to finish tournament mode with at least 10,000 credits with different characters. Doing this can unlock Lobot from The Empire Strikes Back, Bosch from Return of the Jedi, and even Darth Maul from Episode 1.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
This is pretty cool, and there's a few others as well on top of that, but I just wish that they weren't so annoying to get. Making sure you have enough credits at the end of tournament mode is pretty annoying and a little bit tedious. Beyond that, there's no other bonuses. There are, however, cheat codes with a variety of effects, so if you want to play around with some of the physics of the game or simply unlock everything from the start, then you can do so. If I'm being a little bit nitpicky here, I do wish that there were some other maps that were maybe unlockable besides the characters that we got, as well as also stuff like concept art or other promos, like visual material that we could see that kind of just added on to like some of the rewards that you get for completing some of the different modes in the game. I think that would have been cool, and it feels like it would have added just a little bit extra for us, especially having to go through all that stuff to get those other characters, because they are just a little bit tedious to earn. But beyond the CG movies that you get for completing the tournament mode with every single character, and also especially if you lose with them, there's not much else here. It's just kind of meh, and if you use the cheats to unlock everything, it just loses a lot of its charm. It's just kind of whatever at that point. This is a thing with a lot of older games, especially in the PlayStation era, or PlayStation 1 era, I should say. But still, like, when it comes to a Star Wars game, like, there's got to be a little bit more of a pull here to keep you invested for a long time. Besides the cool concept, besides, like, the appearance of Darth Maul and things like that, I do wish there was just a little bit more to make me want to play it even longer beyond this. So when looking at everything there is to see with this unique Star Wars game, can I recommend that you check out Star Wars Demolition on the PlayStation? Honestly, I say avoid this one completely. While the idea of vehicular combat in the Star Wars universe is a very cool concept, the execution here I feel wasn't that great. The driving and the balance of the combat is all over the place, and I really wish that there would have been some adjustments to make it better. I'm not gonna lie though, I would love to see this concept revisited again in a brand new game. I really feel like this style of game can work out very good when handled very well. But in here, things just didn't come together like it should have. The Force is not strong with this one. And there you go, everyone. Those are my overall thoughts about Star Wars Demolition on the original PlayStation. It's also available for Sega Dreamcast. It's a shame, too, because this concept, this idea is awesome. It could be a lot of fun, and on paper, this should be an epic win. But in execution and practice, now on both of those consoles, it's just kind of whatever. But at least personally for me, I'm glad I got to talk about this because I never see anybody mention this game like whatsoever. And now we kind of know the reason why. But even so, that's just my opinion about Star Wars Demolition. Let me know your own thoughts about this game down below in the comments section. Tell me, are you a big Star Wars fan? Do you love the ships of Star Wars? Do you like some of the characters, whether it's original trilogy or prequel trilogy? There's no sequel trilogy here with this one, at least, in this time frame. But anything related to Star Wars or Star Wars video games, talk to me about that stuff down below in the comments. And before I forget to mention, make sure you guys check out the playlist that I have here on the channel for all my videos that are related to Star Wars games or just Star Wars in general. I even just recently did an unboxing for that lightsaber right there I just got, so you'll definitely want to check it out, and let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments section. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching this video. I appreciate your support and all your good vibes as always. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon too to support my channel for new videos each week. You could also join my Patreon for early access to brand new videos and other exclusive content. Don't forget to join my Discord server too and be part of the community I have over here. If you're into games, then you'll love interacting with all the great people who are part of it. Thanks again, guys. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.